He's the great David Feherty from CBS and Golf Channel. You never forget your first time. And the first time you walked into the grounds at Augusta, what stood out to you, David?
Wow. Oh, it was, I want to say 92. I only played in the event once, Dan. I've done 16 as a broadcaster, but it was difficult to qualify for it from Europe. You had to finish in the top 3 in the money list at that time, and I qualified as a Ryder Cup player, and I remember it was like walking into a Salvador Dali painting. It's as if it was surreal. Clocks should have been dripping out of the trees. It was so perfect that it didn't seem real.
How did you play in the Masters?
I made the cut, and I think I finished about 50th or something like that out of 49.
How nervous though when you're up there on the first tee?
Oh, I was like a box of frogs. It was not the sort of physical nervous where your hand is shaking when you tee the ball up. I didn't get that, but I just had a head full of slamming doors and that's what happens to golfers when they get under any sort of pressure. You forget to concentrate on what is happening and you start worrying about what might happen.
Well, I played it twice, and everybody talks about the greens. And then if you have a great caddy, or these guys are so experienced having played there, the one major that we play at the same venue year after year, once you sort of figure out angles, speed, are the greens, tougher than what we have at a U.S. Open course?
Well, the U.S. Open varies so much. If you go back to Shinnecock, where they were completely unputtable, they got out of control. Generally speaking, no. They're easier to putt because, A, they're in much better condition, and B, as you say, you do sort of halfway know what to expect. I mean, there are minor changes made every year to various parts. 14, the back left of 14 has changed a little bit. 15 hasn't changed much over the years, but there's a little heaving and swelling, during the frosts and that sort of thing, where just subtle differences. But, I mean, the real issue with the greens is, there really isn't that much slope in a lot of the greens here at Augusta. It's just they're so incredibly fast. They never publish the stimp meter readings. They call them tournament speed. But between you, me, and the rest of the world, I'm not sure if we stay in the teens when it comes to a stimp meter reading. I mean, I saw my reflection in the 15th green yesterday.
Why isn't Tiger on TV today?
Well, there's the late early. We'll get a little bit of him today, I believe. So it's it's one day or the other. With the late early starting times, you're going to get him one day and Phil one day, and you can't really get them. Well, I suppose you could if they contrived to, give him two similar tee times, but that's just not the tradition of the thing. The way that it works.
He's David Feherty from CBS and the Golf Channel joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Realistically, how many guys can win this tournament?
Oh, wow. It's so hard to win a major now. I mean, that's a good question because, back 30, 40, 50 years ago, here at this tournament, for example, there might have been half the field or less than half the field who would have been capable of winning a green jacket. Now there are people that don't qualify for this tournament that would be perfectly capable of winning it. And we've seen over the last few years, guys like Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel. We've seen, winners here and in other major championships where you think, well, either they're easier to win because these guys are winning it, or, there's more strength and depth, and it's B. There's so much more talent out there. And the level of play is astonishing now. Where they put flags, if you look at old footage of the Masters, where they have the hole located, they're now so close to the edges of the greens, and you get fish that are actually closer to the hole than your caddy.
Whose relationship will help them more this week? Tiger's with Lindsey Vonn or Rory with Caroline Wozniacki?
That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's relationship with a member of the opposite sex or the same sex, for that matter, can really help that much in winning a Masters. I think.
Well, Tiger's in love now, and Rory may be back together with Carolyn and caddied for him. I mean, you got to love somebody if you let him caddy for you, I would think.
Well, or you have to be afraid of them. Yes, one or the other.
Yeah. But you've seen Tiger. You've known Tiger as well as anybody, and sort of seeing that spring in his step now, and you got that confidence where he's sort of that smart ass at the press conferences now. I mean, he's back to being his old personality here.
He is, and he's very comfortable. And the other thing, Dan, he is astonishingly in shape. He's always been in shape, but he is skinny and strong. He looks like a piece of steel cable on a suspension bridge. I've never seen him. He's only about a pound lighter than he was, but he says he's a lot stronger. And I saw him at the Tavistock Cup. We had a good chat about that, and he has just been working so hard on his physical conditioning. And when he feels good about himself, and the other thing is, we haven't seen him play well, Dan, in 4 years, and yet he's still number one. He's won tournaments. He's won 6 of his last 20 without playing the way he knows he can in any of them. If he plays well this week, he'll win by 10 or 12. And people have short memories. They forget what happens when he plays truly well. And over the last few years, people have said, well, these guys have got closer to him. He doesn't have the edge. Well, that's because he hasn't played well. They haven't got closer to him. He just got closer to them. So if he can find that form, and I honestly believe that he will play as well as he did around the turn of the century again.
Yeah, I would take the field. I'll give you Tiger, I'll take the field.
Yeah, well, that's always a good bet, because of you're playing 100 people, it's so difficult to win any given. But I don't think, and he's been favorite or joint favorite pretty much, even during the slump. People have regarded him as the favorite. I don't think he's been a stronger favorite for a number of years.
Before I let you go, you do a Jim Nantz impersonation?
Hello, acquaintances.
Wait a minute, hold on. Here, I'm going to play the music.
Yes.
All right, here's David Feherty. All right, go, David.
Well, it's that time of the year again. The azaleas are in bloom. We've taken the dogwoods for a walk. It's the Masters. Yes, it is. I'll tell you something. It is. The skies are dark out there, but it's charged, and you couldn't cut the atmosphere with a chainsaw here. And it is the most anticipated start to a Masters.
Wait, were you still doing your Jim Nantz?
No, I'm back to being me.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, I'm back to being me. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes. Yeah.
The Irish Nantz sounds great.
Oh, it did? Oh,
yes.
Good. Yeah.
And you could cut the tension with a chainsaw.
Oh, it's unbelievable. There's just a feeling around the grounds, that there's something special is going to happen this week. I don't know.
Does Nantz order something off the menu that way?
No, he doesn't. He actually tends to go more Lundqvist when he's ordering off the menu. Like, in your life, have you ever tasted anything like this? Yeah. Lundqvist, incidentally, last night, who was in the room next to me in the house we share, I had to put my foot on his chest this morning and pull the drapes out of his nose. It sounded like he was trying to start a lawnmower. Oh.
Remember when you were next to Freddie Couples? Where was that one tournament where Freddie was enjoying the evening late at night, you said? And you had to knock on do you remember this?
On his door?
On his window, on the wall?
Oh. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. So Vern was snoring, you said?
Yes. Yeah, and I think they may both have been by themselves. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Stay out of trouble, all right?
All right.
And speak in hushed tones.
And you're not helping. Thanks.
Thank you, David. David Feherty. Next episode of Feherty on the Golf Channel Monday night features the 6-time Majors champ, 3-time Masters champ, Nick Faldo. A Nick Faldo you never knew existed. I think that's what surprised a lot of golfers because they didn't like Nick. They respected him, but they didn't like him. Like he was just above this, and he was this machine. He was mechanical. And all of a sudden you realize he had a personality. I think he always had it. He just chose not to show it because he was out there to play golf. But, guys now hear and see that personality, and you still get guys who sort of shake their head at it. But I like Faldo. I like him. I liked him as a golfer, and I like him as an analyst. I think there's some fun to him. But Feherty's just that. He's different. He's off the charts there.